The outcomes of this video include: adjust settings to customize the view and preferences of the spreadsheet application, work with multiple spreadsheets, apply formulae to worksheets to provide alternative solutions to a problem. Outcomes continued: apply simple built-in functions, apply formatting to a spreadsheet, use special effects to improve the presentation of a spreadsheet, evaluate a spreadsheet, print a spreadsheet. Adjust settings to customize the view and preferences of the spreadsheet application. Hi everybody and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are going to be going through Learner Guide 116940, and the first thing we're going to do is open up File Explorer and open up the Excel document that we previously worked on. So we can go to Documents, the folder we've been saving in, the Excel folder, and the demo spreadsheet 1. The first thing to demonstrate is how to switch the toolbar on and off and to add to the toolbar. So first we can go up to the toolbar, the quick access toolbar, and we can choose to hide the quick access toolbar. If we'd like to find the quick access toolbar again, we can go to File, Options, Quick Access Toolbar, and we can choose to show the quick access toolbar. We can click it and say OK. And there it is back where it was. You might find your quick access toolbar at the bottom over here. If we'd like to make the view of our spreadsheet larger or smaller, we can go to the View option on the ribbon, choose the Zoom button. Currently it's at 100%. We might choose to make it 75% and say OK. Or we can click the Zoom button again and choose to make it 100 and say OK. There's also different ways to view the spreadsheet. Currently we are viewing it in normal view, but you can choose to view it in page break preview, or you can choose to view it in page layout. But for now, let's keep viewing it in normal view. And all of these views are available to you in the View ribbon option. If we'd like to freeze rows or columns, we can select the row we'd like to freeze. And in the View option, we can go to the Freeze panes and choose to freeze the top row. If we'd like to freeze a column, we can select the column and choose the Freeze panes and choose to freeze the first column. If we'd like to unfreeze, we can select, choose the Freeze panes, choose Unfreeze, and the column will unfreeze at the same time. If we would like to change the default file location where this file is saved in, we can go to File, Options, Save, scroll down slightly, and the default file location is this My Documents on the OneDrive. It's here that we can click and select Change It. And we can start typing what we would prefer it to be as. Work with multiple spreadsheets. Currently, we are just working in one worksheet, but it is beneficial to have more than one worksheet open if you'd like to have more information spread out through the different worksheets and if you were working with lots of information at one time. So in order to create a new worksheet, you can click the plus arrow at the bottom next to sheet number 1. And to create another one, you can click the plus arrow again against sheet number 2. In this case, it's sheet number 4 and 5 because I've made sheets already. To rename a sheet, you can click on sheet 1, right click and say rename, and let's rename it number 1. And the same for the next sheet, right click, rename number 2. And finally for the third sheet, rename number 3. Now we can select some of our information in our table up until May, right click, copy, go to number 2 in A1, we can right click and paste. And in number 1, we can go to again, we can select the information up until the totals, right click, copy, go to number 3. In B1, we can say right click and paste. And there the data is slightly different between the 3 sheets. If we would like to delete a worksheet, we can click on number 3, for example, right click and say delete. Delete. Apply formulae to worksheets to provide alternative solutions to the problem. In the previous video, we created a sum total for John from January through to May, and then we autofilled that total down through the different names. To demonstrate how to use a subtraction formula, let's click in H2 and say equals John's total minus by his May value. And we can say enter. And that works out to 890. So from January through to April, he made 890, and May made 470, and that together will make his final total of 1,360. To demonstrate how to use a divide formula, we can put the equal sign in R2, his May value divided by his total, and enter, and that'll give us a percentage of how much his May value had an impact on his overall total. If we were to times this by 100, the star sign represents times by 100. It'll tell us that it was 34.56% worth of his final total. If we were to change the value in May for John to 370 and say enter, you will see that his final total also changes. This is what's beneficial about using formulas, because if you had a big spreadsheet and you wanted to change certain values along the way, by using formulas, the formula itself will change too, because the formula is linked to all of those values. For example, again, if we change his value back to 470, his value changes back to 1,360, and all is what it was. If we go to sheet 2 now, saved as number 2, and use what's called an absolute cell reference, let's firstly put the totals in. So equals in G2 equals January plus February plus March plus April plus May. Say enter, and we autofill the value down to the bottom and the sum copies. An absolute cell reference refers to the fact that 10% was added onto the totals. If we say is equal to this total, John's one, times by the 10% and say enter, and we try and autofill down, it gives the value zeros because this value here refers to this block where there's no 10% in. So we would need to put 10% in each of these blocks for there to be values in these blocks here. But what you can do is you can use an absolute cell reference where you refer to this cell, which means you put a $ before and after the letter that you would like to refer to the entire time. So $J, $2, and that refers to J2. So if we now autofill down, all of these will do the same because the J2 is being referenced the entire time, as you can see. Apply simple built-in functions. There is also a different way of using the plus function in the sense where we can delete these totals we can say equals, we can type the word sum, S-U-M, open brackets, select the range of data we'd like to sum together, and sum simply stands for plus, so it's asking the computer to plus the values that have been highlighted together in brackets, and we can say enter, and it gives us the same answer. So it's just a shorter way of having to go is equal to this block plus the next block plus the next block and plus the next block. It simply just shortens the process and simplifies it. So what you can do again is you can go is equal to, type the word sum, S-U-M, in brackets, select the data, close brackets, and say enter. There are more formulas in the learner guide itself, the hard copy, in regards to minusing and dividing. We can also autofill this down and it will copy the sum. And as you can see, they're all sum functions. You also have statistical functions such as the average and the count. The average means what is the average value of all of these totals. So we can go as equal to, you can type the word average, open brackets, select all the totals, close brackets, and say enter. And that is the average of all of these totals here. The count means what is the count of all of these totals, meaning how many of them are there. So if we go is equal to count, open brackets, select the totals. There are 8 totals here, and we know that because we typed in 8 names. Apply formatting to a spreadsheet. If we would like to automatically format the spreadsheet, we can go to Page Layout, Themes, and we can choose a specific theme. Let's go with the organic one. And there the type of writing's changed, the way that it looks, and everything like that. We can choose the colors to be blue warm. We can choose our font to be Canberra. And the effects, we can make a glow edge. If, for example, you want a specific block such as the total to have a type of style to it, you can click on the total block, you can click on home, you can choose cell styles, and you can choose explanatory text. If you'd like to start your spreadsheet off with a specific template, you can go to File, New, search for online templates, or you can go to Home, More Templates, and you can search for an online template there, or scroll down and choose a specific template you'd like, such as if you're trying to create a budget, you can do the monthly budget, academic calendar, your basic business invoice. But Excel provides nice templates in that regard. Use special effects to improve the presentation of the spreadsheet. If we'd like to center our months, we can select them and choose the center line option in the Home tab. We can also choose to make them bold and italicize them. To orient text within a cell, let's say we would like our average to stand out. We can click on the average cell, choose orientation, and angle it anti-clockwise. And now it stands out quite clearly. If we no longer want borders with our table, we can select our table, go back to the borders option, click on the down arrow, and choose no border. If we'd like our borders back again, we can click on the down arrow and choose all borders. If we'd like to apply shading to our cells, such as our names, we can select them, click on the down arrow, choose blue, or if we don't want the shading, we can click on the down arrow again and say no fill. Evaluate a spreadsheet. Before we print our document, it's important to check for spelling. So in the review option on the ribbon, we can check our spelling. Do you want to continue? We can say yes. February spent wrong, so we can say change, and the spell check is complete. And to check our formulas to make sure they're correct, we can go to File, Options, Formulas, scroll down slightly, and choose the Enable Background Error Checking. This will indicate that there's errors if we've had any problems while using our formulas. And here we can choose to reset ignored errors so that it can check again. When we're happy, we can say OK. Print a spreadsheet. The final thing to do is to print our spreadsheet. So we can go File, Print. We can keep it Microsoft Print to PDF. Let's print the entire workbook because we have 2 sheets open. The portrait orientation, that's perfect. We can keep it portrait for now. Normal margins, here we can change it, but for now, let's just keep them normal. And we can even scroll down to the page setup. Let's add to our header and footer. Let's custom header and footer. In the center section, let's type demo Excel spreadsheet 1. And we can say OK. And let's leave the footer as is, but the principle would apply the same. We could choose custom footer and it'll take us through the same process. We can say OK. And there we have our header, demo Excel spreadsheet. So just to review, you can check out the preview and see if you're happy. Yes, we are. And once we're happy, we can say print. We can find our documents. Click in the folder we've been saving in, Excel, demo, spreadsheet 1, PDF, print out. And we can say save. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please share with as many people you feel may benefit from this training. Thank you.